Hey everyone, it's Desiree, and I am here with the final installment of our Spellbinders series here. And for this one, we're going to focus on the Glimmer Hot Foil system and also the Glimmer Kit of the Month. So this month's kit for September is called Have a Colorful Day. Comes with 8 plates and actually 2 cutting dies. As always, the sheet that you will get will be in the form of a card within your kit, and it also gives you some inspiration on the other side as well. So these are what the dies look like and the plates. So you get some great sentiments. You also get some what I'm going to refer to as rainbow fillers or the outline, and then you also have the die that will cut out the outline and a cloud. So I pulled out, well, what comes with your kit, because you always get a glimmer foil with your monthly subscription. This one's going to be rainbow, and the more I work with the rainbow, the more I'm liking the rainbow, because you can strategically place your plates, as you can see of what I'm doing here. I find when I work with the Glimmer Hot Foil system, I am all about now with the washi tape, taping these items down so that they can hold them in place, so that I can be strategic in my placement. I'm also finding that there are many videos out there with some wonderful tips and tricks. And again, I always link down below because I'm really not going to go into how this system works and what you do in each of the videos. I just point out some little tiny tips and tricks that I find are working for me that I really hold on to and continue to do. And that washi tape is definitely one of them. So once my system's ready, as always, I hit that timer. You can see it flashing there. I also put a piece of cardstock in between the 2 plates for the glimmer system. This just adds a little bit of pressure when it comes to getting, pressing the foil onto the cardstock and with the heat. It will all depend on when I do that and when I don't. Depends upon the plate. In the meantime, while that's getting ready, and it's okay, it's telling me that it's ready, I'm going to work on the background panel, and I'm going to be using some of my distress oxides, so tumbled glass, broken china. I was thinking about putting in some faded jeans, but chose that not to do that. I used one of my makeup brushes, and I left some white spaces, gave myself some automatic clouds for that. I'm going to pull that out, and I'm running that through my Platinum 6 with my setup. It's very difficult to keep that here up onto the screen. And then once I run them through, I'm going to remove the plates, and you can see that I get these etched lines in the arc. And you can see some of them have, you can see that rainbow that's rolling through it. Which I think is really cool. What I also did with this for my cardstock that I foiled on, I dug into my scrap bin, which I find that I'm doing that a lot right now, which is a good thing because we can't throw anything away, right? We got to keep everything. So by digging into that, I'm able to use up these pieces to just put them into different cards and just cutting different shapes. I mean, why not? I'm going to put my sentiment right down onto the panel. Now remember, I used my Distress Oxide on this, and it foils absolutely beautifully. It doesn't peel off, it doesn't rub off, which is great. Now, the best part is there is we call them happy accidents, I call them boo-boos, I call them whoops. Yep, how do we fix that? Because again, we never stop in our cards. We're going to drop an ink pad. We're going to drop the acrylic block with the stamp on it with the ink. Especially me, I tend to do that. We're going to drop something that is going to, whether it has liquid glue on it and it's going to land on our card, or these are all the things that I've done. Double-sided foam squares. We're going to drop it, it's going to stick. And of course, the foam squares that I use are really strong. You can see, back to the card here, you can see that I'm cutting out my clouds out of white cardstock. And I'm also going to be cutting out outlines and strips. So unfortunately, I'm not keeping those. So I'm taking the die that does the outline. I cut that in gray. Now with all of these arches that I did in the foil, I'm now using that same die to cut them out. So we're going to do some piecing. So we have the outline in gray, and then I'm going to put these pieces back into that die cut. This is a great die. It's very heavily etched, so the papers do tear and rip because, you know, honestly, I'm not taking care. I'm just, you know, looking to get this done. But having a good time with it. So, anyway, so those are the things that we can do. When it comes to the Glimmer hot foil system, again, with everything, as we keep working with a piece of equipment or a technique, we will always get better at it. We'll get used to it. We'll find our own ways of doing things. So again, it's, for me, I like the trial and error part of crafting. So sometimes when I foil, I have too much pressure put in there, or I ran it back and forth too many times, or my finger, because I'm putting pressure down holding the plates because it's something I should do. It's going to give us this issue right here. So remember, this was done on oxides. Now, it's very doable. You can absolutely foil onto your oxide inks. I didn't hit it with a heat tool. I am a fan of the white eraser, not the sand eraser, because I didn't want to move any of that. And you can see how the sentiment just pops up. But you can also see above the word day, I've got that little mark. Again, I didn't want to go too hard with the eraser because, again, I didn't want to lose my oxide. So how do we fix that? Well, let's just grab one of those clouds. I'm going to put foil only under the word day of that sentiment strip, and we're going to foil it. And you'll see what I do with that once that is all done, because that one actually came out better. And that's me pointing out the error that I have. Again, I am a fan of the white eraser. I get mine at my local dollar store. White erasers are different than the pink erasers, and I go by color. White erasers are gentle. You have less of those dusty eraser thingies. I don't know what the technical term is, but that's my technical term. So they erase cleaner. Again, at least for me, that's what I feel. So that's why whenever you see me erase, it's very rarely a sand eraser. I like to use the white. So that is our day right there. So I'm going to use very carefully the cloud die because this is a solid die. So I can't see where exactly this is going to go. So pretty much fingers crossed, using a piece of washi tape to make sure we keep that in place. Hopefully that's going to be inside the cloud. If not, we would have made something work, by all means. So once we pull that out, we can see now we have the word day. And I'm going to prop that up using some foam squares. I'm going to come in with some of my tumbled glass, and I'm just going to go around these die cut clouds just a little bit. Not too much. I didn't want them too dark. But I just wanted a hint of color. Now, you could have also used the gray. Stormy clouds comes a rainbow. Again, I overthink cards sometimes. But again, we can be creative with that. I'm liking the fact that that arch is sitting there on an angle, and that's exactly what I'm going to do with this arch. So here comes our word day to finish our sentiment. I think it adds a cute element there. I'm going to use my liquid adhesive to glue down the outline of the rainbow. And now I'm going to look at the placement of the clouds. Before I do that, of course, I'm going to inset the pieces that I've cut out. So I'm just going to put glue down onto the card base, and then I'm going to set those pieces in. If I have to, I'll use the point, the point of my scissors to make sure that it is pushed in and set in place. So different color of a rainbow there, kind of used pastels to get the different colors, but using the rainbow foil just gives it another added touch. I'm going to use the double-sided foam squares for the clouds as well, and I'm just going to cut them down to size. And then I'm going to layer them on top of each other. Now I'm going to put 2 on the top edge, and I'm going to put 3 down on the bottom. Again, just to give it some more dimension and some interest to the card. So I actually, and I'll apologize, I actually kept everything in this video. I didn't do any editing. Didn't realize I didn't do that until I went to do the voiceover. So yeah, we're just going to keep on going with it. So you're seeing every little thing that I'm doing. Except the die cutting machine. I can never fit that up onto my table. So that's what our card panel looks like. I'm going to put that down on a piece of gray cardstock. And then I'm going to set this onto my standard A2 size card base, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and it is a top folding card. So I do hope you enjoyed this project. I hope I gave you some tips and tricks along the way, along with my gabbing, as I always do. As always, everything that I used will be linked down below, especially to the Spellbinders shop, their gallery, because there's plenty of inspiration there. Also, when it comes to all of their subscription clubs that they have available, even their value and VIP clubs that are available for you to sign up for. So make sure you check those out. If you have any questions, leave those down below, and I'll make sure I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you haven't already, I'd love for you to subscribe, so make sure you hit that button, and make sure you hit the bell so that you know when the next video is live and ready for you to watch. Thank you so much for stopping by and just spending this little bit of time with me. I truly am grateful and thankful that you do that. Everyone, continue to enjoy your day, continue to stay safe and healthy, but most important for me, even if you do it just a little bit, always be creative. Till next time, guys.